Hey, 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 Your impression of him is way better than mine is. Welcome back, everyone, to Bad Film Good, the podcast where we look at poorly rated movies and we ask the question, Adrian! We ask the question, is this bad film good? My name is Declan.
I'm Adrian.
God damn it. His name is Adrian.
I'm Adrian.
But the reason we're doing this is because today we're going to be looking at a film called Stop, with an exclamation mark after stop. Or My Mum Will Shoot. I had to get the specific, you have to get the exclamation mark in there.
Yeah.
Stop! Otherwise it's just stop or My Mum Will Shoot.
Stop!
Right? Stop!
My mum will shoot.
Or My Mum Will Shoot. And it stars, I was about to say Adrian. Sylvester Stallone, which is why, of course, we're doing all these ridiculous impressions. But before we get to that point, Aidan, I need to ask you, what is Shrekking this week?
Well, what is Shrekking this week? This is from...
Well, I don't know, I asked you. Sorry, just carry on. Oh, we need to scat for the... Do we scat between the segments still?
Skibbity-boop.
Skibbity-boop. Shrekking. Carry on.
So, this is from Thrillist, and it says, the weirdest Shrek merch money can buy. And it's a list of some of the weirdest and funniest Shrek merch that you
as
can
long
buy.
as they have links so I can browse afterwards.
Yeah, they do. You can check it out. So it goes from standard stuff. So you've got like t-shirts with Shrek's body printed on it, so you can pretend to be Shrek. They've got like
nice.
They've got a hoodie with like, it's just a green hoodie with Shrek's face like massively in the middle, just screaming, which is kind of weird.
Yes.
You got Shrek leggings, which is just like Shrek's face, like copy and pasted multiple times on some leggings. And then we get to some like...
This is a full outfit, by the way, that we're going to get all of the components for.
Yeah. And then we get to some weird stuff. So first one is like...
That wasn't weird? Okay.
Yeah. Then we get some like a crocheted hat that has like Shrek ears. And that's like, you can buy that on Etsy. Someone has taken the time to crochet, it's like a bucket
amazing
hat, but with Shrek ears. Then there's like, it's like a Christmas jumper. So it's like a knitted jumper with Shrek on it. But Shrek's face is fucked. Like, because it's knitted, so it's a bit skewed.
Yeah.
It just looks terrifying. And then we get, you can get car decals, so like Shrek's bursting out of the back of your car, which is pretty
amazing.
Good. And then like personalized pillowcases with the cast, and you can put your name under the cast of Shrek. Why not? Right, now we get to some really weird stuff. You can get a Shrek cape topper, so you can get your wedding cape. But you can put your likeness onto the body of Shrek.
Wait, no, that's not where I thought that was going. Yeah. What the hell?
So it's like Shrek and Fiona's body, all green, but then it's your face on the body of Shrek.
Amazing.
And then there's a Shrek pooper toothpaste topper. Which, I don't know if you've seen it. There was a viral video of this. It's like a 3D printed Shrek, and then you stick it on the end of your toothpaste, and then the toothpaste comes out of Shrek's butt.
Perfect.
which is great.
The best gift for all your children this Christmas.
Then there's like a golf visor hat, one of those like
one of those
visor. And in the text of Shrek, like the font with the ears and stuff, it says "Daddy" on it.
Oh no! Oh god!
And then there's
I want one of those. I want a Shrek T-shirt that just says get out my swamp, or get in my ass.
Get in my ass. You may have seen this before. I don't know if you remember this. I remember these, but there's a Shrek CRT TV, which is like one of those old TVs, but it's green and it's got ears sticking out of it.
Oh my god.
Which is amazing. I remember that because I went to like a fun fair one time, and that was the prize if you got what's that thing where you pick up the ducks with a stick?
Oh right, yeah. Was there like a Shrek duck you got to pick up?
Yeah, no, it was like a golden duck, and if you got that one, you got to pick a prize, and one of the prizes was this Shrek TV, and I really wanted it, and my mum wouldn't let me play the game because she said it was a scam. Yeah.
Wise mum.
Yeah, wise mum. At the time, I was like, "Fuck you, mum." And now I'm like, yeah, good choice, actually.
They like glued that golden duck down to like a hidden platform under the water because they're like, nobody's getting this TV. This is my Shrek TV.
Yeah. All the other ducks are moving around it, and then it's just in place. And I'm like, yes, I can get that one. And then my personal favorite is you can get Shrek Nike Air Force Ones.
Amazing. They must be so legit.
I know, right? They're like all green, and then they've got like a little Shrek face on the lace, like as a little plastic thing. They look amazing, and I want them. Yeah, and so that's the article.
So basically, we're setting up a one of those accounts where people can just buy us the Shrek stuff, right?
Yes, yeah. So if you go
that's what we're leading to.
If you go to our Patreon or something, GoFundMe for Shrek Nike Air Force Ones. So that is the article. I just wanted to point out though that I don't know if you've seen the picture of Shrek Crocs.
Amazing.
Going around now. That they are amazing.
Shrocks.
They are amazing. However, they are not real. You cannot buy Shrocks, which is quite upsetting. However,
somebody needs to make them.
Yeah, there's a petition for someone to make them.
I mean, if it gets enough attention, then someone's going to make.
Crocs are going to be like.
There's a gap in the market here for Shrocks. Where are all the Shrocks at? Give me some Shrocks.
Everyone's going down. Go out to a club, and everyone's wearing Shrocks.
Just in the club.
Everyone's wearing the fucking giant Shrek hoodie, Shrek leggings, and some Shrocks. And a golf visor that says Daddy on it. But yeah, nice. that's what's Shrekin this week.
That's good. I like that. We should invest. Maybe we'll do it. Maybe we'll invest in making some Shrocks.
Yeah, and on the bottom, you know how like on special edition vans and stuff, they have like stuff written on the bottom. Like the Toy Story ones say Andy on it.
Yeah.
Our Shrocks will say "fuck Scott Tobias" on them.
Yeah.
or no, they'll say "get out my swamp" or "get in my ass."
But it's like one on each. So the left one says "get out my swamp," and then the right one it says "oh, get in my ass."
Yeah, perfect.
Perfect. But Shrekking aside, as wonderful as it was, this week we looked at, or we will be looking at, I suppose, Stop or My Mum Will Shoot. I keep forgetting the name of the film for some reason. I don't know why.
It's quite long, isn't it? It's like a sentence.
Because it literally is a line from the film.
Yeah, yeah.
I just want to call it The Adventures of Stallone and his mum. I don't know.
Yeah, it's kind of what this film is. It's just the adventures of Stallone and an annoying mum.
Yeah, a sweet old lady.
Yeah,
with a Mac 10. Anyway.
Yeah.
Anyway, we. Come on, what are you gonna say?
I was just saying, like, tell us what fucking Netflix says.
Okay, fuck. Yeah, so we watched this on
before we go off on a tangent. This is another 2 hour
trying to reel
episode.
it in. Yeah. So No, yeah. So we watched this on Netflix, which describes this film as: after a tough breakup with his girlfriend / fellow detective, Joe gets a new lady and partner in crime prevention: his meddlesome mum.
After
a tough breakup with his girlfriend / fellow detective. Well, not really. I mean,
they don't really break up, and also that makes it sound like he gets together with his mum.
Yeah, yeah. He gets a new lady, his mother. Oh, mother.
Hey, mum, you got nice ass.
No. No. I could see his face. It's be like, oh, you got a nice ass.
He's doing that nodding thing. It's like the side smile with the nod that he does. He's like, nice ass, man. Good job.
Good job.
That's how it ends.
Oh, but it's not even. It's his girlfriend / fellow detective. No, she's his fucking boss.
Yes, it's his boss.
She's the lieutenant. You know. God damn. Well, tell us a bit about this film before we get to. Come on, tell us a bit about this film.
Isn't it fuck my mom?
She's like fucking 70.
Yeah. So basically, Sylvester Stallone bangs his mum. No. So he's banging his lieutenant. And then his mum comes to visit, and then she decides to buy him a gun. But when she buys the gun, she witnesses a homicide. So she goes to tell Stallone because he's a police detective. But then he's not very happy with her. Because his mum keeps showing everyone his baby photos whilst withholding evidence from the police. So she keeps following around, causing more crime. But then it turns out that there's an even more bad guy related to that same crime that she witnessed. So they do a bit
even more baddest.
Even more badder. And then, so they do a bit of detectiving together. But then, Stallone's mum gets nicked, and he has to go get her back. And there's a bit of a standoff. But then, Stallone's mum just shoots the bad guy and doesn't get arrested. And then everything works out. Again, everything's all great. Stallone bangs his lieutenant again, then he bangs his mum, and everything's good.
And peace rests across the land.
I love my mum. Damn, she got a nice ass, actually.
I don't know what it is about the way you say ass with that voice. Like, oh, you got a nice ass. I could just see it. I could see his face.
With the eyebrows as well. He's like,
yeah, just like, that ass.
Hey, Adrian, check out that
ass. That's my bum. Anyway, we're gonna get too distracted.
Yeah. So,
keep going.
Brief facts about the film.
Yeah,
it was made in 1992, directed by Roger Spottiswoode, starring Estelle Getty, Sylvester Stallone.
Oh no, something's happened to your mic. You've disappeared, Aiden. Mayday. Aiden has crashed and burned. Oh no! Where's he gone?
And we're back.
And we're
back. Hey, you get a nice ass.
As you probably heard, because I'm assuming that Aiden left it in the edit. His mic just suddenly decided to die, to go a little crazy.
Hopefully it doesn't do that again, but we'll see.
Yeah, but You were talking about the film. That's what was happening.
I can't really. It probably wasn't that important.
Basically, it's the film.
The film. Yeah, that's it.
You know, how much money was it? Let me pitch.
Yeah. Did we do that?
Let's just get on with it, shall we?
It's 45 million.
Get that out of the way. It doesn't matter.
45 bloody million.
45 million.
Budget 45 million, and it made just over 70 million. So it really didn't do that well.
Yeah.
And it's got 4.3 out of 10 on IMDb, 11% on Rotten Tomatoes, and it doesn't have
Rotten Tomatoes.
Rotten Tomatoes, and it doesn't have a Metacritic score.
Does that mean no Metacritic?
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, none. No, I don't know if it's because it's old.
Do none of them have parents?
Yeah, exactly. No, they were just like made to review films. So I guess this came out before metal crickets were invented. But look, I'm Sylvester Stallone, and I've got 45 million. What have you got for me?
All right, so this is Sylvester Stallone's grandma who's pitching this to him, with this idea of this film for him, and she's like, "Look, everyone, this is a picture of when he was only 5 years old. He pooped his pants. Look at that big diaper. And so muscular for his age. He was always such a sweet boy." The movie.
Was that her at the end as well?
That's the pitch.
She's like,
yeah, that was her at the end.
Me, so
she leaned in.
The movie.
You are sunshine, you want a biscuit.
All right, darling.
You need to eat more, you're so skinny.
Yeah. Why don't you have a slice of cake?
Let grandma look after you.
It's Danny Dyer, but he's a grandma.
I feel like we always we always end up talking at the same time, and it just becomes a mess of noise.
Yeah, that's why people don't listen, and we'll never stop.
And we'll never stop. Yeah, Danny Dyer as the grandma. I'd love to see this film, but instead of her, it's Danny Dyer dressed in like a granny's wig and clothes. And then every time Stallone's like, "Oh, Mom, please, stay out of my life." And he's like, "Listen here, mate. Don't make me take you to the wall."
Listen here, you look so fucking cute in your dirty little slag diapers.
I preferred you when you was just a boy and I looked after you, huh?
Mum, you're so embarrassing.
I used to wipe his little bum.
Mum, stop telling everyone.
To like the whole detectives in the whole department. Mum, please stop. Put the photos away.
Shut up, you dirty little slag. I'll tell everyone about you. Is this a woman you're banging? Yeah, she looks good, doesn't she? Why you send us?
You know he used to shit himself.
He still does.
He's doing it right now, aren't you? Aren't you, love?
Dirty little Roger.
Mum, stop.
Mum, you
I need to go to the toilet.
Adrian.
That's basically what this film is. Like that's the intro to the film. That's basically what this is. It's Sylvester Stallone being embarrassed by his mum and being like, "Mum, stop," and her not doing that. And people shooting each other. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
There's a little bit of that, but it's mainly just him going, "Mum, you're so embarrassing. Why'd you have to come to wherever, was it LA that he lives or something? I don't know. Why'd you have to come to LA?
I don't remember.
Whatever." Look, should we get into some dumb shit before we just...
Yeah, let's get to... Absolutely derail. Yeah. I mean, it starts off with one of those kind of like animated intro things. Makes me think of like Pink Panther or something.
Oh yeah, it does.
Like the kind of the swing drums, like and it's got like a heist movie kind of vibe. And then it is instantly kind of very action copy kind of intro where it's just a shootout, and the acting is instantly bad.
Yeah.
Just the first thing you come into, and Stallone's just like, "Oh, I'm a policeman."
What's the Italian now? Oh, I'm a policeman.
That was is Stallone from Brooklyn.
Oh, I'm a policeman over here, Adrian.
Oh, I'm a policeman. Get off my balls, Mom. Quit busting my balls, Mom.
I'll never stop busting your balls, you dirty little slag.
I already forgot the other Danny Dyer. This is going to take so long. We're just going to keep derailing and doing impressions of Danny Dyer as Stallone's mum. All right, so look.
Yeah, so it's like if you've seen any movie before, you've seen this intro, because it's literally like, I'm not a policeman, I'm selling you some crack. Oh wait, I'm a policeman. And then they do a shootout. But the way he stops the bad guys is like he empties like a full clip into the side of a sign that's like hanging above them. No, like in any other film, it'd
hanging
like
by some chains.
It'd be like a smooth like ba-choom, and he shoots one of the things and it drops down. But he literally just
just cuts through
bang,
the chain.
bang, 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 and then eventually it gets cut.
And every one of them pings off as well. Like it's not like he's missing. Well, every shot is hitting the chains. But there's some like extra durable, strong chains.
And he's like bang, 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 and it swings down and it hits the bad guys. And then his partner just goes like, beginner's luck. And I was like, what? What do you mean? Is this like
how
his
long's he
first
been on the
mission?
force? Is this his first? Yeah.
It's like...
He's like, I'm only 18 years old.
Yeah, but
this is my first mission with a gun.
Yeah, he's all like, fucking, these bad guys piss me off. They're always late, Adrian. And then, like, it's like, what, he's already pissed off on his first day? Guy's like, it's like, what the fuck are you doing? We don't do that here. Like, fuck it.
I love when he starts. Yeah, I love when he starts talking to the because he's sat in the car waiting for them to show up, and then when the bad guys, as they literally call them, like they just call them bad guys, when they show up to wherever this dodgy deal is, and Stallone gets out the car and they're like, "Did you bring the money?" And he's like, "No, I brought food stamps." And then the guy, one of the other guys, is like, "I don't trust this dude." I was like, what? He actually thought he might have bought food stamps.
Oh, he's bought food stamps? What an idiot. Let's not do business with him anymore.
We want money, not food stamps.
Hang on. The deal was money, not food stamps.
With money, we could buy food. We don't need the food stamps if you give us the money.
We could buy food and other things, not just food.
Like drugs.
Food and drugs. You got any drug stamps? We'll take drug stamps, actually. If you got drug stamps, I wouldn't mind it.
Yeah. And Stallone talks way too much about how he's an untrustworthy crook. He's like, "Oh, yeah, you know me. I do lots of bad things. I'm untrustworthy. I'm a crook.
He's like the worst.
I do all the selling of drugs."
He's like the worst undercover cop ever. Like, if you met...
But he, like, talks like a cop as well.
Yeah. It's like fucking, "Oh, we got a 10-4. I mean, we've got money in the bag, and fucking, I'm not a cop. I love doing crime. I do crime every day, all day. I spend all my time with the pups. I mean the peeps.
Just start shooting him."
But yeah, they do that, and then they sort of like, he does some good policing, and he catches them, and they go out to celebrate doing good police work.
Oh, well, but before I have a good quote noted down from when he's definitely not a cop and being a crook and whatever. And then one of the again, bad guys as they're called. He's like, all right, show him the stuff. And then Stallone, when he just decides to turn around at some point and be like, oh, police, stop, and takes out his gun, he gives them 1 second to start running away, and then that's when he's like, nobody listens, and just starts blasting them. He just fucking starts shooting at them. Like, they're not... I mean, I don't know. I mean, maybe they were armed. Like, they weren't shooting at him. They were just running away, and he's like, I'm just gonna shoot him in the back. It doesn't matter.
They're not actually... Yeah, they're not bad guys. They're like, they might be buying drugs, but they're actually just, like... They're addicts, and they're like, "Oh, you got any?"
They're just drugs? Misguided souls.
Yeah.
You know, they need help, and he's like, "Nobody listens. Bite, 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 bite. Don't listen to my gun." Anyway,
No, that was a good quote. I'm glad.
So they're back at the office.
Well, they go out celebrating, and he's like calling. It turns out he's calling his mum because she doesn't pick up, and it's like 2 a.m. and he's like ringing her phone and everything. And then they go back to the office, and the lieutenant / his fiance or whatever they are.
They're just like seeing each other.
Yeah, it's like on and off and whatever. And she's like, I heard you were calling some woman at 2 a.m. Like, what the fuck is that all about? And he's like, no, I'm calling my mum. And like any rational woman in that situation would go, she's like, you're lying. Who the fuck calls their mum at 2 a.m.? And he's like, oh, well, you should believe me. I'm calling my mum. She's like, what? Why? Why would you be calling?
Yeah, it's like, he doesn't seem to register the fact, like, it's the most ridiculous excuse.
Yeah, literally.
Because he's like, I was calling my mom. Why don't you believe me? I'm talking to my mom.
Yeah, he's like, not like, I know this sounds insane, but I was calling my mum because I don't want her to come and visit. She's meant to be coming tomorrow, and
And she never picks up the phone.
Yeah.
She does it deliberately.
Yeah, I know this seems...
I was drunk.
Yeah, it's like, it really seems like a shady situation, but please... I'm telling the truth. It was my. He's like, no, I'm calling my mum. Why don't you believe me? I got that bitch.
Yeah, because before that, she's like, because she's saying to him, "Do you remember what I told you?" Kind of being like, you know, you've got to be more attentive and stuff, and you can't be doing like you can't just be going off, putting yourself in dangerous situations at work and then not telling me I didn't hear anything back from you and this kind of stuff. Like, she didn't know what was going on and she heard someone got shot and blah, 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 whatever. But she's like, you remember what I told you? And he's like, that I was the first man to make you. She's like, nope. And then he's like, something else. She's like, nope. And he doesn't say it, but he's just, I put him a note here. I was like... It's like he says that and it's like nope. He's like, oh, it was you wanted to remind me. Like he's just listing off.
Yeah, and they're like in the office,
and she's like, no,
in the office around everyone. Like, did you wanted to eat my ass? Was it that one time?
She's like, no.
You said you wanted to get some cream and lick it off my balls or something. It's like, no, stop listing her private life.
The whole department are like, fucking what?
Was it
they're kind of trying to pretend that they're not seeing each other as well.
Yeah, it's
but everybody
weird, but
knows about
knows.
it. So she's like, hold these papers while I roast you.
Yeah,
so that it looks like it's a thing.
Yeah, they only do that at the start though, and then it's like they either forget about it or they're just like, everyone knows.
They just don't. They just stop caring.
Yeah.
Because he's saying all that stuff like, oh, was it this? And she was like, no, not that stuff. And he goes, oh, the feelings stuff, like the feelings stuff.
You awful, this relationship is just terrible. You have no emotions. You're just talking about our sex life in front of the whole precinct.
Yeah, and just, that he's talking to his mum.
But then, because then it's that where he goes to the airport, right, and everyone's getting off the plane, and the gag is that
I was gonna say sorry. It's the airport and everyone there is just getting off.
Everyone's getting off, and he's like, "Is it the time that you said
what's
you wanted
going on?
Yeah, you want to go to the airport and get off with everyone else?" She's like, "No, it's not that either." But yeah, everyone's getting off the plane, and the gag is that the mum's been telling everyone about. I can't remember his character's name. Stallone. They've been telling she's been telling everyone on the plane. Like,
again, it doesn't matter. We never do. No film do we really remember the person's name. Yeah. It just doesn't matter. We just call them by the actor's name.
We'd watch Lord of the Rings and we'd call Frodo Elijah Wood the whole time.
Yeah. Even though it's much more it's like many more syllables. It's like more of a difficult thing to remember than just Frodo. We're just like, bloody just call him Wood.
Yeah.
Elijah Wood.
Yeah, so Elijah Wood puts on the ring. But yeah, they're all getting off the plane and they're all like, "Oh, Sylvester Stallone, you fucking, I've seen you in your baby pictures. Oh, like, you still wet the bed. You
seen
fucking
your little baby stupid face."
But I was like, in real life, if you are sat next to a woman on the plane and she's like, "Yeah, my son, look at these baby pictures. He used to wet the bed. Do you know, one time in class he shat himself." You'd be like, "Lady, I don't give a fuck about your fucking kid." Like, she's going around the whole plane like, "Look at my baby." But it's like
a whole event because the whole plane is like, the whole plane knows about it.
Yeah, this is like...
I thought that was so funny. I love that. Throughout this whole film, all the stuff of like the real second-hand embarrassment of like him and his mum and all the stuff she does, I don't know what it is. I just think it's hilarious. I just thought it was like, I wouldn't say like comedy gold, like it's, anything crazy, but it just tickled me really well. Like just everybody walking out and being like, I don't remember his name, but like, I mean, just say it's Stallone. They're like, "Oh, hey, little Stallone," and all this kind of stuff. Like they all know this stuff. And I was instantly like, "Oh my god, she's been telling everybody about his embarrassing stories." And then, of course, she then appears and she's like, "Oh, look at him!" Oh. She's like chubbing his cheeks and then being like telling all the women going past like he's still single,
Yeah.
Oh wait, what are we talking about? Sorry, it's Danny Dyer. Like, this slag's still single.
Anyone want to fuck him? Hey, all of you getting off in the airport. Does anyone want to fuck my son? Go here. He's single.
Hey.
Yeah.
Just imagine Danny Dyer fucking shouting somebody down in the airport. Be like,
"Oi,
get here now.
Come here, slag."
Isn't he just the most beautiful boy you've ever seen? Huh?
Yeah, come on, give him a
kiss.
Put
him on the wall.
Put him on the fucking wall. Oh, goddamn. But then, like, at that point, there's another fucking pedo alert. We've had a few of those in these films.
Oh my god, I've noted these down. This film does this a couple times. It's just a thing of the time, I think.
Yeah, I guess, but
they seem to do this too much back then.
Weird, because he's like, she's getting off. I think it's an air hostess, right? She's getting off, and
it's the three air hostesses that walk up to him.
Yeah, and they're getting up. They're talking to his mum or Danny Dyer, and they're like, "Oh, thanks for showing me those baby photos. Oh, by the way, Stallone, you look sexy in those diapers." And I was like, "What?"
Yeah, but they really like ham it up as because they're like, you look real sexy in those diapers.
Yeah, I love a man who wears Pampers. And I was like, "What? You mean as a literal child? He looked fucking sexy?"
Yeah.
What the fuck are you talking about?
I don't understand. But like, how do they think that's going to turn somebody on as well?
Yeah, that's not a compliment. That's just illegal. What you've said there is
somebody
just
going
illegal.
to someone being like, "I liked how you looked when you were a small, underdeveloped child."
Yeah, I don't know if you've ever...
And you're like, I mean, aside from the creepy paedophilic, more than just undertones, like, what about me now?
Yeah. Also, like, I don't know if you've ever been shown someone's baby photos, but imagine if you getting shown, like, Tom's baby photos, and you went, damn, you look fucking hot when you were 3 years old. Like, what the fuck? They'd be like, get out. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
I'm showing these lovely baby photos, and you've just made it really fucking weird.
Yeah, because you get people like, oh, they're so cute, or like, oh wow, look at him, there's this gorgeous baby, or whatever, or like,
oh wow,
blah blah blah.
Your eyes looked so blue when you were young, that sort of shit.
Yeah. Like... And then it's just like, oh, real sexy in those diapers.
I bet your cock filled the whole diaper.
Oh no. No, but they basically cross that line. Like, that's why it's so bad, and because later we'll get to it. Like literally later on, they do cross that line. So we'll get there with that.
Yeah.
This isn't the end of them sexualizing
children,
baby Stallone or toddler Stallone.
But yeah, so my next note is his mum is infuriating. Like,
yeah, but she's a sweet little old lady. But she's infuriating.
Yeah, I feel like there's two. If you like this film, you find it endearing, and if you don't like this film, you're like, oh my god, lady, please, for the love of God, Jesus, like, because they're like driving back from the airport and they see like a suicide jumper, and then again in that situation she grabs the microphone and she's like, oh, do you remember? Oh, sorry, it's Danny Dyer. He's like, oh, do you remember? Fucking, he used to wear diapers when he was 6. He's fucking idiot.
Yeah. Well, because so Stallone has gone up onto the up to the floor, to the window, to like stop this guy from jumping, right? To like go and talk him down. Which, by the way, he does awfully. Like. This is probably before, they learned better,
like mental health.
Well, I mean, I don't know. Maybe they just didn't actually have some like advisor on set to be like, no, this is awful. But this guy's out the ledge, and Stallone just like climbs straight out there with him, and he's like, oh, stop, come here. Like, there's no kind of like, slowly building up to it and building a rapport, any of that kind of stuff. He's just like, oh, I'm coming out with you. Hey, that's my mother down there. I don't know why it keeps going like.
Oh, there's my mother down there. Oh,
there's my mother down there.
Better book.
It's gonna hurt my voice by the end of this.
but yeah,
because she gets the megaphone and starts shouting up to them, right?
Yeah, and then the guy's like, it's another gag. They're like, oh, he's like, oh, I'm not gonna kill myself anymore because your mum's way fucking worse than mine.
That one got me good. I will say that whole gag, just because of the like. So first things first, I mean, like we said, bloody Stallone, he literally, when he gets to the ledge, he gets the kid's attention by shouting out to him, hey kid, and making him jump. Like, not jump off the build, but like shocking him. Which was, I was like, that is not how you handle a jumper situation. He's like, hey kid. He's like, oh fuck. He just
Where'd you come from? What the fuck?
Yeah. And then of course, because I knew that she was going to do it, like I saw the setup. You see it, and you're like, right, I know how this is going to go. So she gets the megaphone, and because she hears that the guy that's going to jump is having like issues with his mum or something.
Yeah.
And I don't know what it is exactly, but she shuts up. She's like, oh, I heard you're having issues with a thing, and he's like, I don't want to talk about it. And then, she's then talking about her boy and showing everyone the pictures, because she says that he used to be really short, and he's like being really defensive about it to the ledge jumper guy as he's trying to like edge towards him. He's like, oh, I was a normal sized kid. And then he was like, yeah, right, I bet she has pictures. And then she's like, I've got some pictures here. And he's like, yeah, she's got pictures. And Stallone's reaction, there are some really good bits in this film where he does this, because his reaction is, he's just like, no, bitches. and then he's like, officer, secure that megaphone, and all this kind of stuff. It's just that he just genuinely seems like so humiliated.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, the pictures, no.
I don't know, like from what I was expecting, because we've all got a picture of Stallone in our head, which is just like, like I thought he wasn't like amazing, but he was decent. His performance is decent in this, like way better than I was expecting.
Yeah,
I was expecting more like Arnie and Twins, where everything he says is just like, ugh, that's not delivered well. Like, you know, where it's like,
yeah, I see what you mean. Yeah,
like, fucking, I can't remember a quote from that film, but he's just like,
the pavement was his enemy.
yeah, that sort of thing. I was expecting that, but honestly, yeah, it wasn't too bad in this.
Yeah, and it's funny because there's definitely more of a I don't know whether it's just more of a thing nowadays, but like if you've got an actor who is very kind of stereotyped into the big kind of strong, manly, stupidly muscly, you know, Dwayne The Rock Johnson and you know, that kind of thing, to these roles where, especially in films, if it's quite serious and it's actiony and they're like the big puncher and they can punch all the people and whatever, and they have literally like all this crazy stuff with their contracts that they can't be punched more than other cast members you know, all this crazy stuff, like, because they have to have this appearance and this brand of being like macho and like, you know, strong and above the others and all this kind of stuff. And then you've got a dream sequence of Stallone in adult diapers and his mum's saying he's going to change him, and he's like, no, I don't want to be changed. I just love that because it just so broke that kind of
that's quite good
stereotype of what I saw Stallone as, I think, because I'd always saw him as like, you know, covered in like sweat and grime, like Rambo and
Rocky,
I was going to start being like, and Rocky and whatever, been like, yeah, I've got to physically dominate everything around me.
But
and then his mum comes in.
But then, it's like,
but yeah,
she is infuriating.
That's when the ledge jumper is. Yeah. Oh, sorry.
I was just gonna say,
I was jumping ahead there.
She is infuriating for me because I'm just like, like, again, if that was in real life, just someone's like the detective's mum's there, and she's like, "Oh, let me talk to him." You'd be like, "No, what are you doing? Like, shut up." I don't know. She was just quite annoying because then, like, later they go back and she's like, "Oh, your apartment's filthy." So she cleans she's cleaning his apartment, and then she cleans his fucking gun in the sink. It's like, what are you doing?
Yeah, because she just has no idea. I'm glad that we have like opposing, like perspectives on it, because to me it was the funny kind of like, oh no, because she's this sweet old lady. She just wants to mother him, whatever, but she has no idea what she's doing. So she's like, I'm going to get some Mr. Clean and, you know, fill up the sink nice and give this gun a good old scrub down and clean it up nice. And then it just like full with water. And it's just, he was like, Mom, you use this cleaning product. It's gonna blow up in my hand, you know.
And like he's like in the shower, and she just comes in. She's like, "Oh, what you want for breakfast?" And he's like, "Well, Mom, I've got my dick out. What are you doing?" You know, like,
and the classic like, "Oh, it's nothing I haven't seen before."
Which, like, I don't know if...
He's like, I'm an adult now, Mum. You've not seen this.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know. I don't know if you've ever had that from your mum saying, like, oh, nothing
I've heard that phrase.
Yeah, I'm just like...
Being like, come on, nothing I've seen...
No, you haven't. I've changed. Yeah. I've grown.
Go away, Mum.
I've grown.
You can't control me anymore.
Mom, get out. I'm hard. No, sorry.
Oh, no. The line. Fuck's sake. That's
There it is. There it is, ladies and gentlemen. We
found the line, ladies and gentlemen. Upon crossing it. But there's another quote that I thought was quite funny where she's obviously saying about how kind of, dirty his place is, and she's like, getting all of this dust off the side, like, look at this. And she opens his cupboard. He's like, no, don't do it. She opens the cupboard, and then all the stuff falls out because he's just piled it all in there. And he's like, oh, my cleaning lady left. And she's like, maybe she didn't leave. Maybe she's lost in there, pointing to the cupboard. And I was like, good one, Mum. Good one, Mum. But it's like she's hoovering at 3 a.m., and he's just like, oh, I can't sleep, Mom, stop.
Yeah, but again, you'd be like, if that was your mum and she came over and she was hoovering at 3 a.m., you'd be like, I've got fucking work tomorrow. Just do it later. What the fuck's wrong with you?
It's a film. It's a film of all of those, like, the whole point is this, all of those jokes where they might be over-exaggerated a bit, but it's all the things of like, this is what it's like to have your mother round, or like, this is all the things your mum, you remember your mum used to do this, or because she ruins his gun, when he goes into work, she's like, right, okay, I'm going to buy him a new gun because I feel bad. So she goes to the gun store, she goes to try and buy the exact same model of gun that he actually had. There's like, just the handgun that he had, but it's like expensive, and there's obviously, with the gun laws and stuff, there's the cool off period. So, but she's like, but I want this gun now. And somebody, some dude hears her kind of talking about it, and she doesn't end up buying the gun. So then he's like, hey lady, I know where you can get some guns, and takes her to a shady alley to sell her some illegal guns. But she like rips off the arms dealers because, again, it's that mum thing of kind of, it's that thing where she's almost like everyone's mum. You know what I mean? She almost kind of treats everyone. So they'll be saying to her, oh, it's 500 for this, plus, I don't know, whatever, for if you want anything extra or something. And she's like, oh, what are you talking about, 500? That's ridiculous, blah, blah, blah. She's like bartering with them to get it down to like 350 or 300 or something like that. And then it cuts to some other stuff, cuts back, and she's still going. And they're just like, like head in their hand, just like, okay, Christ. She's like, look, you want to keep dreaming about 500, or you want to give me you want me to give you a 350 right now, and I'll take it. And he's like, okay, fine. All right, fine. Yeah, you can just take for 350, sure. And she's like, don't forget to throw in the extra clip, like she's just absolutely ripping them off. And then, you then have a massive shootout then between those guys and some other people.
That's when, like, that's why she's there, right? Because she witnesses this shootout, so now she's like a witness in a police investigation. So she's like, looks like I gotta stay with you forever, whatever, until this is
an
done.
Indefinite period of time.
Yeah.
Because the gun that she buys, like a Mac 10 fucking Uzi off of them, because they're like selling it to him, being like, this was like 30 rounds in 2 seconds or something, like, this is your son will love this. And she's like, oh, I don't know, okay, sure. So she gets that off of them and then goes off down the road, and these other people who are watching the arms deal go down from some, like, I don't know, mafia thing or some other kind of, like, gang, whatever, but it's their guns that had been stolen. They're like these illegal guns that were stolen from a warehouse or something, I don't know. But you've got this kind of like thing going on between this shootout between these two rival, I don't think they're really rival gangs. I think the guys who are selling the illegal guns are just kind of,
they stole the guns.
They're just
off
like
the
a couple
other
of thieves, aren't they? They stole them off there. They're just a couple of thieves. They aren't like anybody important. But like, she witnesses this and then she has to stick around. But she won't, like, she refuses to give any information. Like, she's just being really annoying and like facetious and
I think
I don't really know what the van was, because she wants to give Stallone all the information, not the other detective.
Yeah, I think it was like
so that he can get promotion.
This sort of stuff was like annoying me about her. I do find. I mean, you're meant to find her annoying, like as a character, right? Like,
yeah,
well,
you're supposed to kind of feel that secondhand embarrassment.
Yeah, but I was like, she is literally withholding information from the police just because she wants her son to have the information. But he's not even on the case.
Yeah, to profit.
Like someone else is on the case, so she's literally just withholding information. But that bit's funny. That has my favorite line in, because she goes to the police station and she's like, "Oh, I saw this drive-by shooting," and then she's doing the same thing about, you know, like telling everyone about him, and he's like, "Oh, Mum, go home," and then the boss / his girlfriend or whatever is like, "Oh,
who's now sort of broken up with him."
Yeah, it's so like,
because when they were talking before, after the opening, she's like, "Oh, I can't do this anymore," and then he's like, "Cool," and he just walks out.
Yeah.
But they didn't really. It wasn't a proper like, "It's over." It's kind of weird.
Yeah, there's never like a proper breakup or a proper they're back together sort of thing until the end when she's like, the mum's like, "Oh, show me your ring," and she's like, they're engaged or whatever. That's the only time when it's properly defined, like, okay, they are actually together. But yeah, they're arguing, him and his boss. He's like, "Send her home," and she's like, "No, you're just being ridiculous." And then she says like, she you can't. She's just loving you, like she's just trying to protect you because she's your mum and she loves you. And he's meant to say, "Well, her love is driving me nuts," but he just sort of barks the line because he's angry, so he just goes like, "Nuts." I just thought that was funny. That type of line was what I was expecting from him. Just like incoherent
from the whole
barking.
film.
Yeah.
But there's a scene, I don't remember. I think it's when he, because the mum has like her little dog with her, and Stallone is like holding onto the dog, and he goes to talk with his lieutenant / girlfriend in her office. And that's what he's saying, where he's like, "This is what I was talking about. This is my mum. Like, she's insufferable, all this kind of stuff." And he's like being expressive and moving his arms around, but he's got the dog in his hands, and he is just ragdolling this dog around. That was so funny because he just keeps doing it, and it's weird because you're like, this is intentional, I think, but at the same time, I could imagine that on set, Stallone was just getting into it, and then just because he's so big and like. The dog just weighs nothing. He's just like flailing this dog around with his arms as he's talking, and then everyone on set is like not wanting to break the scene and like call cut, but they're just like, stop.
Yeah,
could somebody talk to him,
all the
please?
set members are like, "We don't want to say anything because he's this massive star, but he is literally fligging that dog around. I don't think we should let him hold it anymore." But yeah, they have like the mum should be arrested basically because she's like
pretty much. It's kind of
it's like a funny
it's the thing of like she's an old lady, so she doesn't necessarily. I don't know. It's one of those difficult things where you're like, yes, but then because it's through the lens of it being like, oh, it's his mum, and she's this old lady who doesn't maybe realize the full consequences of what she's doing because she's just like, oh, I want to protect my boy.
Yeah, but
it's weird.
I was just like, she's fucking interfering with police business, like getting involved with the suicide guy, and then purchase of an illegal firearm, withholding information from the police, dangerous driving, like.
That's
and murder at the end.
She definitely nearly killed some people.
Yeah.
Well, I guess
that
you
could
argue was
but still, I was like, wait, she's in a police station. She's just like, oh, I purchased this illegal gun, and then
she's just in the police station with a Mac 10 in her bag,
and she's like, So I purchased an illegal firearm, whatever. But then I witnessed a murder. And they were like, a murder, you say?
Oh, take a seat.
Yeah.
Would you like some tea? We'll sort this out.
Yeah, she's like, yeah, oh, sorry, could you hold my handbag with the illegal firearm in it? They're like, yeah, sure. Oh, yeah, do you have any baby photos of Stallone, by the way? So while I put this fucking Mac 10 down on the desk, it was just like...
Yeah, I don't know whether she ever shows that to them. Whether they ever actually... Because they kind of... when he finds out, because she gives it to him as a present, this Mac 10... When he finds out, he's like, Mom, you're withholding evidence, you can't do this, and all this kind of stuff. And then it doesn't really get addressed again. They have, like, talk about how, we've got, when he goes to confront the I don't know, head of the kind of little gang that shot up the people who stole the guns from them, he confronts him and he's saying about how, you kind of... you committed like insurance fraud or whatever, like burnt down this warehouse deliberately because you kept all the guns. Like, we have evidence that one of those guns did not get destroyed in the fire because it's one of your guns. We have it. So clearly they took it into evidence, or he's just blagging. I mean, obviously, but like, obviously,
well, they know.
Yeah, I guess that they took it into evidence because we never actually addressed specifically that she did that. But again, it's never actually talked about. They know
that she bought, because she's like, that's why she was there. That's why she witnessed it. Because she's like, I was trying to buy a gun for my boy, and then there was a drive-by shooting.
But they didn't know. No, but I don't. But at that point, they didn't know that she actually was trying to buy a legal firearm. Like, I think she was just talking about the fact that she went to buy a firearm, like, from a store, which is fine. Okay. But, like, I mean, in America, it's fine. But, like, you know what I mean? So I don't think that I know, but it does get dropped because they just kind of, they're like, Mom, you can't do this, blah, blah, blah. And then they never bring it back up again. But it was funny that he was, like, so excited about opening his present, and it's just
a Mac 10.
An Uzi.
There was another funny bit. Like, this is... I know, like, you found it a lot funnier than I did, I think. This was like the bit which I was like not laughing at, but I was like, that's kind of funny because she's like,
this one got a good few laughs at me, definitely.
Yeah, she's like doing a police chase, or like they go to wherever, and then he's like chasing them. They run off, and then she's like,
he gets a lead on a house, yeah.
Yeah, and they run away, and she's like, get in, I'll drive. And she's just driving like an old lady, like causing chaos. She's like driving on the pavements. And at first I thought it was going to be the dumb thing of like, Mum, you drive. And then she's like drifting around the streets and stuff. But it's just not. She's just like driving through mailboxes. She's like, I can't see. Sorry, it's Danny Dyer.
Yeah, just nearly killing people.
Can't see. Fucking hell.
Okay, get out of the way, you slags. I'll run you down into the wall.
Oh, good. But yeah, I did like that bit. That was one of the bits where I was like, okay, this is what I'm
that's good. And somewhere around here, there's a bit where, I don't make it clear in my notes, I don't remember, but somewhere around here, there's a bit where she's talking, so the mum is talking to his girlfriend / lieutenant in her office, and she's showing her, like, again, she takes the photos out, she's showing her all of the old photos and stuff, because she knows that that's who he, like, was, seeing, and she wants to kind of, like, make sure that they get back together and whatever. And she's like, look at him here, and blah, 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 look at him here, and she's like, oh, look, only 9 years old and all those muscles, which I thought was quite funny. And then she says, she gives her this look over her, like, glasses, and she's like, and some very nice equipment. What? Why? This is what I was talking about with them crossing the line. Like, what is it with this film? And just sexualizing children, because she's looking at her like, she's already. I mean, by now, this woman would have already banged Stallone's character. They were like seeing each other. They were together. So even then, it's not like she needs telling about what he's like packing or whatever. But she's like, look at this 9-year-old version of the guy that you like. He's packing some pretty good equipment in this photo. If you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like what?
Look how big my son's dick is.
What the fuck?
At 9 years old, look how big it is.
At 9 years old. Like, why would she be interested?
You'd be like,
it's just such a weird... They've put lines like that in, and it's so weird. Yeah. Because even... I know that, like, a lot of them are supposed to be the funny kind of mum stereotypes of, like, saying inappropriate things or, like, being embarrassing without knowing that. But no, no average mum would say that. I mean,
no mum would go like,
but like,
look how big my son's cock is. You like that?
Yeah, he's only 3.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
This one's
like,
when he's 4, and this one's when he's 5. This one's a close up of it. Look,
it's just too much.
Yeah,
it's so weird. I think that was before the car chase, though. But then she starts like running people down and everything.
Yeah. But
we start the nice thing with the car chase is that's when you start to kind of get a bit more like wholesome vibes between mother and son, because he's a bit scared at first with her doing all this stuff, and then he's kind of like, cool, mom, you catch up with them or something, and they kind of he starts kind of warming up to her a bit and not being the whole time just being like, oh, leave me alone.
Yeah. But I think it's at the end of the car chase they get to the warehouse or something when where all the guns were stolen. I mean, it doesn't matter. Who cares?
No, it's because they're chasing them. But I think they lose them because the grandma. It's grandma. I say that because she's old. No, his mum ends up accidentally driving them into like a giant bin. So they lose them, and he's like, "Oh, mom, why you do that?" And I don't remember who. His mum was like having a go at someone. I don't know why this week my notes were like so vague. Like I just kind of wrote them down at the time, and then now I don't know who she was talking to. There's a quote which is probably my favorite from his mum, where I think she was like. She like shut someone down or whatever. Or she like had a go at someone, and then she was like, "His ass was grass, and I was the lawnmower."
Oh, it must have missed that.
I was like, "Yeah, that's good. It's a good line." But as Danny Dyer's was like, "Yeah, his ass was grass, and I was the lawnmower."
Yeah, I was the fucking lawn.
His ass was the wall,
and
I was Danny Dyer hosting the wall.
They're like, "What does that mean?" He's like, "Oh, shut up. You slag."
Shut! It's my show, slag. Lawnmower, here it goes.
But yeah, they get to the warehouse, and that's when they say it. That is when they say.
I've got it down. Yeah. Have you noted the time? Have we got the same time? 57 minutes and 6 seconds.
And they're like,
that's when they say, "Stop." Or my mum will shoot.
And I was like, yeah, great. Good job.
And I was like, yes! We had such different reactions to this film. Literally. I was just like, he said it. He did that. And like the way he says it as well, because instead of just taking the gun from her, he just stands there and lets her like, you just imagine like her tongue out of one side of her mouth, just like, okay, I'm gonna point this gun, bang, 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 trying to shoot this dude, even though she's not licensed to like, she literally has no. It's not like the police. They've got to.
They've got to have training.
They've got to make a record of like every. Yeah, they've got to have training, but I think they've. I don't know if this is definitely a thing, but I'm pretty sure they have to. Every shot they fire, they've got to not maybe not like a full report, but like report on why it was fired and stuff. Like for every count for every bullet. So he's just like, just this my gun from my glove compartment. Just go wild, just go nuts.
Yeah,
I'll just let her have this one. And he's just like, stop, or my mum will shoot. And she's just like bang 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 bang.
Yeah, he's just like, yeah, you have a go at this moving target. I was like, why wouldn't you just take the gun off her and be like, oh, thanks for the extra gun. Now I can have another go at shooting him. not just like
yeah, with his pinpoint accuracy, because he can shoot the chain off of repeatedly, like quick as well with the recoil of the gun, just be like bang, 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 shooting this chain.
And he's like, "Nah, you have a go, mate. Go on, mate. You have a go.
Yeah, go on, love. Go on, mum.
Go on,
see
love.
if you can pop him.
Yeah,
get him right in the back of the head.
Go on, mumsy. Go on, have a go.
Get his brains on the wall."
Hey.
But yeah, you kind of it slows down a little bit then, I think, because you've got a lot of the stuff where, because it mixes in the whole, action and then the family drama stuff, right? So it slows down a bit then because he is having to go at his mum, telling her to get, like, to stop being so involved in his life and, like, blah, blah, blah. And then she decides that she's going to leave because she's like, oh, all I wanted was to be able to be here and to love somebody and look after someone because I just live on my own. I was like, oh, that's actually sad. And then he's fuck off, mum.
But she's
because I'm looking from the perspective of this, I'm sure that you'd be a bit different.
Well, no, I was just gonna say, like, she's like, oh, I'm very sorry I got involved in your life. Now I'm going to leave. And I was like, is she allowed to leave? Is the case is still open? No. So,
because the case is still
she's
open.
A prime witness, right? So she's like, I'm going, and he's like, no, you actually can't, Mum. You've got to stay. She's like, well, I'm still upset. Well, sorry, Mum. You got to stay. You can't leave right now. Like, I think that would have been funny if she's like,
yeah,
you don't want me anymore, and I'm leaving. And then he's like, oh, you can't. Because of the case, and she's like, "Oh yeah, okay."
And you can see how much it kills him.
Yes, sort of sit in silence for like 5 minutes. Like, you want a coffee or something? I don't know.
Yeah. But yeah, so like, she's then going to leave, and I don't remember. So because you have that thing where she gives him this little speech where she's saying about, I think her name is Gwen. Isn't it? I think the lieutenant
maybe.
girlfriend lady. I think because that's what she said. Because I remember her saying that quote because they say it a few times in the film. Because she said about, like, when you meet someone like Gwen, it's rare to come across, and you've got to grab onto it with both hands, and she's special, and blah 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 blah. And he's like, "Mom, get out of my life." But then when he actually then speaks to her later on, Gwen, like when he's sat drinking at work after hours, and then he just like repeats what his mum said to her, and then she's like, "Oh my god, that's the nicest thing you've ever said to me." And then they start kissing, and then he's like, he kind of pulls away from her, and he's like, my mom said that. Actually, that was my mom said that to me. And then she just carries on kissing him. She's like, oh, yeah. She starts kissing him again. I was like, are you okay with him just like, he's so, the whole thing with them is that he's so like emotionally unavailable. He just doesn't kind of show that he actually has any feelings for her because he just can't kind of, he's gonna be macho and he doesn't show his feelings. He doesn't buy her flowers. He doesn't do any of that kind of stuff. So then she's just like, I'll just take what I can get.
Yeah, I get.
Because, you know what I mean? He's like, yeah, my mom told me to say this, so I've just repeated word for word what she said.
Oh,
and she's
so
like, yeah, that's the most beautiful thing you've ever said to me. If it came from your mum, I don't really care.
He's like, anyway, you wanna try and you wanna get that whipped cream out again and try that thing. She's like, no. People still here. Yeah.
Still people in the office. Still people in the office.
Save it for the hood. Are you sure you don't want to try and eat my... No.
We can't do it back at home because my mom's there, so...
And she'll walk in, I bet you.
She has no personal boundaries. She keeps the cream locked up, so we'd have to ask her for the key.
Mom, you got the key. You got the key for the cream.
Mom, I need the cream.
For the whipped cream? She's like, oh, yes, what do you need it for? We're going to put it up my ass and she's going to eat it. Oh, that's lovely, dear. I'll get the cream key out. Thanks, Mum.
Telling Tyrus, he's like, oh yeah, you dirty slag.
Yeah. I'll bet you on the creamy, dirty little slag.
What is this episode, man? Anyway,
when she leaves and then he's like, oh shit, I didn't
she's going to the airport to go back home.
I want you back, Mum. And I thought
you took the key with you.
Give me back the key. And I did think that bit was like quite funny. Well, when I say funny, you know what I mean. I'm like, yeah, nice. But because it's like, he's like, oh no, I don't want you to leave, Mum. I love you. And then she's like, oh, you made up with Gwen? Why don't you propose to her? And he's just like, nah, don't worry. I'm done.
Yeah.
Gate 12.
Immediately. Yeah. Because
that bit.
Because they're sat on the... Yeah, because they've got like a little shuttle driver that's taken her to her gate.
And he's like chasing after her
for the airport.
Stuff, yeah.
And he's chasing after it, and then she tells him to stop, and they're both sat there on the thing. And the shuttle driver's like kind of turned around so that his head is kind of, you can see him through the gap between the two of them as they're talking. And when she's like, you know, have you proposed to her yet? You need to propose to her. And then the shuttle driver's like, like nodding in agreement. But then, that's when Stallone...
It's just like, nah.
Immediately, he's just like, okay, you can go. Make sure she gets on a flight. Yeah. He's like, get off my ass, Mom.
Yeah, that bit was alright.
That's so funny.
But, it's like... Because then it turns out they go back and then there's some more policey shit. I don't know, it's kind of boring.
Well, no, because they go back to the house, right? But then the house has been broken into. And he's like, stay out here, Mom. I'll go in with my gun. And he goes in and he's doing the whole, like... There's some stuff where... Like, he's got his back to a corner, and to turn into the room to see the whole room, he does this, like, weird little spin where you're like, you would be shot.
Yeah.
You know, you just revealed yourself completely. You would have been shot by now. But he's about to be jumped by... He's looking through the house trying to find who's broken in, and then he's about to be jumped by somebody with a gun, but then his mum, like, knocks him out with a frying pan. And it turns out that it's the guy that sold her one of the guns originally. Yeah. It's like the one of the two guys that didn't get, like, riddled full of bullets in the drive-by that she saw. But, like, then they're just sat down eating.
Yeah, that's
because she's just making some food.
She's just like, oh, criminal, have some breakfast with us.
Yeah, and then they're just kind of chatting about, like, I guess he's just being cooperative, and he's just like, well, I have nowhere to go. These people are chasing me and whatever. Yeah. So then Stallone is like, oh, we can help you with this. You give us the information, and as they're just like eating breakfast that the mum is making for them. But he doesn't want his mum to go with him again because she keeps following him, even if he locks the car and all this kind of stuff. Like, she keeps finding a way out, following him, and getting herself in trouble.
Interfering with police business again.
Yeah. This makes you angry. Not as angry as the emoji maybe.
No, but, nothing will ever make me as angry. Maybe it's just like, it's the aftermath of that. Just like, I'm still angry about that. So I was watching this and I was like, just fucking emoji pop. Fucking stupid shit.
Yeah, oh no, don't. I don't want to think about it. But he, in order to keep his mum away from harm, he handcuffs her to an item in the house and the criminal that broke into their house. He handcuffs them together in, like, the bathroom or the kitchen or something. I don't remember where it is, but they're handcuffed together there. And what? He just handcuffed them? Could he not just call the other officers to come take him away and, like... Oh, no, yeah, they are handcuffed to in the kitchen because she's using the products that she's got by the sink as, like, a lubricant to get out of the cuffs.
Yeah.
Because she's like the most resourceful mother you ever meet. She can just like break her way out of anything, you know.
But yeah, so it's then like because that guy's like, yeah, they we stole it from a different warehouse because they had moved all the guns before they burnt the warehouse down for the insurance money, blah blah blah, that sort of thing. But I was like, what? No one noticed that they moved the guns? Would there not have been like debris of like melted guns or just like, you know, boxes? Because when they go there, it's literally just like a burnt, empty warehouse. I was like, you wouldn't notice that there's no fucking like.
Maybe they left like a couple things of some guns, and they were like, "Oh, the rest was all burnt to a crisp."
I don't know. I think you're giving it too much credit.
I mean, again, the story doesn't matter.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, classic. We finally got there.
The story doesn't matter. We got there. The story doesn't matter. Because so Stallone is like staking out this this airport, not airport, but like it's like a hangar.
Yeah.
And because they've got like a plane ready that they're going to be getting onto, and meanwhile the mum's managed to kind of lube her way out of the cuffs and knocks out the criminal guy again. He's being like he's like calling her babe and stuff is weird. Like he's being like super nice to her, and then she knocks him out and she's like, handcuffs him something, and she's like, sorry, but I can't let you skip town, you know.
Yeah.
And she takes his car and ends up at that same hangar place, which is funny because I don't know, she just navigated away there. Again, it doesn't matter. but they find like, so Stallone obviously knows how to stake out a place, so he's kind of staying out of sight, but she gets caught immediately.
Yeah.
And then they're kind of they chuck her into the plane and they're going to take her with them and they were like, oh, I can't wait to throw her off at whatever altitude into the ocean. I was like, this isn't unnecessarily evil.
Yeah.
This old lady, but okay, sure. And Stallone's kind of, because he sees her getting put onto the plane, so his solution is to like risk her life by completely wrecking the plane with the car that he's with the like.
It's like
it's
big
the front
truck,
of like a big lorry. Yeah. It's like a trucker, but without the back stuff. It's just the like cabin and everything. So he just like basically rams the plane, right? He just uses the truck brute force to like take out one of the wheels, like take out the rotor, all of this stuff. To like, he could have just killed them all.
Yeah, it could have blown up.
It's a very weird decision.
The rotor's like getting burnt up, and while it's getting burnt up, it's like tearing the front of his truck, like where the engine is.
Yeah, the engine.
It's just like, Jesus. Yeah. They all die, and that's how it ends. He's like, "Oh, save you, man." Then it's
they can't have you. No one can. Oh, we're all gonna die.
Fuck's sake. But yeah,
so, you have the final confrontation, then, don't you?
Yeah, and I think I've changed my mind. That's the best bit in the film because it's like a standoff. So Stallone's about to. You know, they're having a back and forth, and the bad guy's pointing a gun at Stallone, and then you see the mum is behind them, and it's like in slow motion. She like slowly whips out this fucking like revolver, massive revolver, and just like points it at him. I can't remember what she says, but the bad guy turns around and she's just like just shoots him in the shoulder, and I was like,
absolutely blasts him.
Yeah, and I was like, okay, now that's what I'm here for. That's what I thought this film would be, more of like this old lady.
To be fair, I thought
fucking,
it definitely was a different kind of film to what I thought it was going to be, but I did enjoy it.
But then the lines they say after that is just fucking stupid, because Stallone just goes, "Gee whiz, you saved my life." And then the mum just goes, "No shit." Like,
oh yeah, why did I know that down? Yeah, she's just like, "No shit."
I was like,
what a fucking gangster.
Yeah, it was
mum.
like fucking gee whiz from Stallone. Wow, that's a bit out of character. But yeah, that's kind of it then.
That's mostly the film. There's the one quote at the end which was just, I was like, I don't know, it's dumb, because they're taking her to the airport to say goodbye, and I guess he's, like you said, they have the thing where you see that Gwen has got a engagement ring. Yeah. So this can't be that long afterwards if the mum's only just going home. So he was just like, you want to get married? She's like, yeah, cool. You're emotionally, distant,
unavailable,
and we have massive issues, but let's get married. That's cool.
That quote you said from your mum was really nice. Let's get married.
Yeah. Oh, because she says about the ring as well. She's like, oh, well, you picked out such a good ring. It's almost as if your mother picked it out or something.
Yeah.
And then he gives her this look as if to say like, yeah, my mother picked it. Like, come on, man, your mum picked your engagement ring for you. You want to just tell her that, and then she's like, I feel so special.
God, you must love me so
there's different,
so much.
Yeah, because like I get that there can be, people can have traditions or differences in culture where the family are more involved in the process. They might have more creative kind of control over things and stuff like that. But like, this is just a man-child being like, oh, Mom, I need to buy a ring for Gwen because you told me to, so can you help me buy it?
Yeah.
And at the very end, when he has to like chase down this perp in this wanted guy in the airport, and he pins him down and whatever, because his mum was like, oh, he's a wanted man. I've seen him on the news. And then at the very end, she's like, I remember what he was on the news for. And then Stallone looks at her and she's like, I remember what he did. He shot his mother. And it's just like a freeze frame ending on Stallone's face, like, nice one, Mom.
Yeah, that really set the tone for me. It's just like, there we go. My last note is that so the film ended, and then you know how it comes up with a related title for the film. Mine was Battle Bots.
All right.
I was like, what?
I had the Iron Giant.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
it's funny. But yeah, that's
great. So, what's your final verdict?
Well, so mine is bad film, all right. Like, I didn't laugh. The action was not anything special. Like, the acting was like okay. It was just I wrote that it's a very standard 80 film, even though it was made in the 90s.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just like,
yeah,
it's just kind of meh. Oh, fuck's sake. Here we go. The Emoji Movie.
Oh no, we can't. Oh, that word is ruined for me forever.
But it was.
It
actually
was just is. Like, in my own personal life, that word will be ruined for me forever.
Someone goes like, yeah, it was meh, and you're like, oh, God.
I'm like, I don't want to do the emoji part. You can't make me.
They're like, what?
You okay, dude?
But yeah, I was just like,
fucking hate James Corden.
Like, what? What are you talking about? But yeah, I was just like, yeah, it's just kind of nothing, this film. I don't think it deserves 4 out of 10 is harsh. I think like
it's so low.
6 out of 10 is what I would rate it. Like, it's okay.
Yeah,
it's not really anything special. Like, the story's just so generic as well, and the humor, like, I mean, not that it made me laugh anyway, but none of it was surprising or anything. Like, where it's going the whole time. There's no surprises. What the gag's
I enjoy a bit
be.
of that though. I think for me, I'd say bad film, hilarious. I love it got me good a couple times. Yeah, just the whole secondhand embarrassment, and like just some of the way he delivers some lines I thought were just great, where he's just like Oh, the bitches, no. It got me good. I enjoyed it.
That's so interesting. Like, we usually have, like, the same reaction. It's weird to see a film that we just have
This is the split that ends the podcast.
This is the last episode. Thanks for listening.
Yeah. Well, at least neither of us liked the Emoji Movie. Could you imagine the amount if I was imagine the opposition?
It really was funny. I really liked James.
I really
Corden.
think it just encapsulates the behaviors of this generation, this new generation. Yeah. No.
Oh God.
Awful. We agree where it counts. I think.
Yeah.
You know.
All right, should we read some reviews?
Ooh, get some rolling R's on there. Scat our ways into the reviews, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, do you want to read your review first, or do you want me to do first?
I'll go. You go first this time.
Okay. Well, so I usually, you get Rotten Tomatoes, I get IMDb, and usually I just read a review. This week, I wanted to do a little something different, because these are all 1-star reviews, but I'm just going to read the title for all of these reviews. Because, so the first one this is from Brass Knuckle Sandwich, and it says, "Stop, or else there will be a sequel." Then
that's good.
Then from Movie Addict 2016, this says, "Stop this movie, or I'll shoot Sylvester Stallone." This is from Happy Puppy 13. "Stop, or you might think this is funny."
I love all of these. They're so dumb.
This is from The Czar 2, and it says, "Stop, or you'll be sorry." Sorry for what? And then this one, Saint 405, says, "Stop, or I'll shoot myself." And then,
damn it, you definitely should have gone second, because yours is much better than that.
And then this one is my personal favourite. This is from Mitch3996, and it says, "Want to get someone to confess to anything? Say stop, or you'll have to see stop, or my mum will shoot."
Just keep going, like, "Stop, or you'll have to see stop. My mum will stop you from watching stop."
Yeah, I was like, really? You see one and someone's like, "Oh, that's a great idea. I'm going to do that too. I'll write my own one."
I mean, it's this set, like, that's like YouTube comments.
Yeah, literally.
It's this, like, they take the same idea and then they, put their own spin on it. Yeah, well, yeah. So as you said, I would normally take from, or I always take from Rotten Tomatoes, but I normally take from the audience reviews.
Yeah.
And obviously sometimes, as I often say, that I change it up a bit and I get the critics ones. But I went down into the audience review section, and it says there are no featured reviews for Stop, or My Mum Will Shoot, because the movie has not released yet.
What?
And then it had a link where it was like, I don't think it said book tickets. It said something else where it was like, look at timings of when you can watch this film.
What the fuck? Are they
cool? This film isn't even out. This is a special preview.
They're not making a remake, are they, or anything?
No, it's not. It was definitely the right one. Because then I've got one that I really I appreciated in the critics review section by Ed Travish from Ed Travish, read by Sean Connery. No, Ed Travis for Synapse,
right,
with a C, Synapse. This was actually from March 2021.
Really?
So he said, yeah, and it was really positive. It said, a refreshing reminder that sometimes movies can be everything they need to be by offering nothing more than a harebrained setup or a particularly delicious cast pairing. Stop, or My Mum Will Shoot delivers exactly what it promises, and delightfully so. And I was like, yeah, that's right. I agree with that.
And I was just sat here, just like, I think
blank face.
I think I more side with Stop, or I will shoot myself.
Myself, yeah. Well, I've got one that you might enjoy, but it doesn't make any sense, by Vincent Canby from the New York Times in May 2003, and it just says, "This mum is impossible without being funny." I guess it's like, I understand. He's like, this mum is impossible to deal with.
I guess.
Without the situation being funny, without her being funny, but it's just so compressed. I mean, I don't agree with that. I think she's impossible in a hilarious, that's what mums are like kind of way. Because, I mean, my mum wasn't like that, but you get the kind of, it's a mum thing.
You get the joke, but I don't know.
Just
for
mum
me,
things.
It was like,
hashtag.
I think it was just like, that gag got really old very quick for me. Like the of her.
Yeah, I guess
like,
for me it just didn't. It just never got old.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah,
I was just like, yeah, I get it. She's interfering. Shut up.
Yeah, because they slowed down with how involved she, or like with her doing embarrassing stuff towards the end of the film, where they focused more on other stuff. And I was just like, I want to see more of her ripping the shit out of it.
Yeah, I don't know, but it's always the same thing. Like, it was always just her like showing baby photos. They do that like 3 times. Her, like showing people baby photos. They do.
Yeah.
It was just like, but anyway.
But that's the thing, she's relentless. But anyway, that's that.
Look, we've talked about some dumb shit about the film, but should we talk about some real life dumb shit?
Some real life dumb shit. Yeah. I've got an interesting story this time. I say it's an interesting story. It's something that happened to me a couple of days ago. So down in Oxford, we've got it sounds like such an Oxford thing. It's like the St. Giles Fair. When the fair comes to town. Yeah. The St. Giles Fair. Yeah, because it's on St. Giles Street.
Yeah.
Oh, I bloody love it, I does. Get my Crystal Head vodka.
I'm the queen, fair. And I bloody love the fair. I go every day. Every day it's on, and I take Philip with me, and he loves it too.
Oh yeah, he's dead. I keep forgetting.
You keep doing it. She's just holding like his urn.
I'll take it with me. I'll pour a little bit of vodka in there.
We're probably breaking some like archaic law that's still technically in place,
Yeah, we're committing treason by saying that.
Yeah. But I went to the fair, and we went round, we did some fun stuff, went on the dodgems and stuff. I'd not really, when I'd gone to the fair a couple of times before, I'd just kind of walked back and forth and been like, things are kind of expensive, I don't really want to do anything. Yeah. But this time we did a couple of things. We got to be fair, this is important that we got some slushies. Had some like a big slush puppy thing. We went on the dodgems. Now, there was one ride that I was like, I remember going on this back when I was, because I was cool. I used to be a scout, and we did this. We did this camp called Gilwell 24, where you have to. The aim is to like stay up for 24 hours straight.
Cool.
Which is it's not very difficult, but like you've got different activities and all this kind of stuff you can do. And one of the things there was the waltzer. Right now, it's. For anyone who doesn't know what the waltzer ride is, it's basically like imagine like a merry-go-round type deal, right? So you've got all of these kind of teacup like things for people to sit in groups of 2 or 3 or something, and they're all placed on different points on the circular thing, but it's all kind of like ridged, so it goes like up and down and up and down.
Oh right, okay,
and it spins. And it spins and it spins and it spins, and then normally
I know what you mean.
Because of the way it is, you know what I mean. Yeah. So like because of the way it is, like when you spin, the cup things that you're in will naturally like spin as well, and you'll get the dips and everything, and you're like whoa, and all this kind of. Now, because of like it was Gilwell 24, it's not like staffed heavily for like the rides, so you've got one person getting everybody onto the ride, make sure they're all ready and to go and everything like that, and. That's it. You go on the ride, you go round, and I always really enjoyed it. I was like, yeah, that's cool. What I didn't realize is that what is normally the procedure with the waltzer is that you'll have staff stood next to each cup. So we get in to one of the cups. And then I'm like, damn, these guys are just walking around, they're just staying here. okay, sure, cool. And then they grab the side of the cup as we start moving round. And then they give us a nice heft and spin us.
What the fuck?
Because that's the whole point. That's the normal thing where they spin you round as you're going round. So you get hit with some pretty crazy G-force. You've got to be careful you don't like kind of crick your neck or whatever, because it's quite like, it really throws you back against your seat. Now, I get like seasick and I get car sick, and I'm fine normally on the waltzer. And disclaimer so that it's not anticlimactic, I didn't end up throwing up, right?
Okay.
But it was awful. It was so awful. We were spinning at like 50 million miles an hour. I was plastered to my seat. I was like, I had this feeling where I had to stare at my feet. I couldn't look at the world spinning around me because I knew that if I did, I would just projectile vomit. I was like, this is awful. And I kind of tried to make a signal to like spin us the other way, because we'd been spinning in one direction for so long, and I could feel it like building. You know when you get the like, you want to throw up because you get like saliva in your mouth, whatever. And I was like, fuck, this is so bad. I'm gonna throw up. I cannot. My eyes are like glued to my feet. They start spinning us the other way, and then I had to put up a hand at some point to just be like, okay, can we just like stop spinning? And then they stopped spinning the thing, because somebody eventually noticed, because the guy was just looking off into the distance while spinning us, and I was like, help me, please. And they stopped spinning us, but the ride is still moving around, so I have to wait for that to stop and then just stagger off the ride. And my body actually went into like panic mode, I think, because we sat down away from the fair. Yeah. And for the next half hour, like 45 minutes, I was constantly feeling like I was just about to throw up or something. Like I had to just sit there for ages trying to calm down.
God.
And
That's
I started
making me
like
feel sick. Yeah.
Yeah. And I started like full on sweating, like literally dripping with sweat out of nowhere. It wasn't like that when I got off the ride. My body just started doing that while I was sat down. It was just like, you know what I mean? I was like, that was not the waltzer that I remember. I was like, yeah, I'm going to go on this fun ride. I always loved I was like, yeah, let's go on the waltzer. It's going to be great. And my girlfriend was like, whoa, 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 whoa. When we're going round, she's like, yeah, like pumping her fist. And I'm like,
stop, please stop. I like to think that you're like trying to signal the guy to spin it the other way. And he looks at you and he's like, yeah, woo, spin it more. Yeah, woo.
Yeah. And I look at you, just see in my eyes, I'm like, I'm going to die.
That's so funny, because I've never been on one. I get quite sick on rides. I do like roller coasters.
I'm fine on like roller coasters and stuff. I'm fine. It's just the
spinny ones.
I don't know, the velocity of it. Like, it was so intense.
Yeah. But that, like, I've seen those.
And I had my vaccine like 2 days before.
Oh yeah, maybe that's something to do with it as well. But like, I've seen those rides before. I know exactly the ride you're talking about. I've never seen anyone spin them around. You're like, that's standard procedure.
Really? They do that?
What?
Yeah. That's what they do. Sure? They literally have like a person for each cup, or maybe like one between two or something. And they just stand there and they don't, constantly spin you, but they they know how to, because you got the rise and the dips, they'll kind of get you ready, and as you're about to go down, they'll just like spin you, and the motion of it just amps you up even more. And like, you think you can't go faster, and then you go faster. And it just like, some people it is fine, but for me, that particular kind of thing, I just could not handle it. It was awful. Horrible, it's that situation where you're like, I have no escape. I can't just get off. Like, I'm my life, not my life, but you know what I mean. My entire life is within the hands of this guy who's just like staring off into the distance after he span us a bit, and I'm like, please, I need to get off. Oh man.
Oh god. Oh damn. Yeah, I've never seen anyone spin them. You're like, yeah, you know how they just spin you around? And I'm like, no,
Yeah,
Are you sure?
but that's the thing. That's why I wouldn't have gone on if I knew that. I was all happy. We'd had fun on the Dodgems. Like I said, I had this slushy as well, which probably didn't help. You know,
Yeah.
Like we got on the ride. I was like, oh, I'm so hyped. This is great. I haven't been on the Watson in years. Like since I was like literally, it must have been like 5 years or something. Maybe I haven't been on this ages and ages and ages. I can't wait. I sit down, strap in. And I'm like, oh, that's weird. Why are they? Oh no. Oh no, this is bad. It went like that.
Oh no.
Instantly from like excitement to pure terror.
Yeah.
So that's the dumb shit for this week.
Yeah, that's good.
Scabbity dee. Yeah.
All right, that's about everything we've got for this week. Next week we're going to be doing Alvin and the Chipmunks. It's going to be a double header, so we're going to do the first one and the second one the week after that.
We're doing why we're doing this to ourselves is as much of a question as why we're doing this to you. So
yeah.
Stay tuned.
Stay tuned. You can watch those on Amazon Prime if you really want to watch them.
If you really want to.
But if you want to keep up to date with us, you can go on to Instagram and Twitter at badfilmgood, all one word. We put posts up, little clips of the episodes and stuff if you want to listen to them.
Little tasters, little teasers.
Yeah. If you want to phone in, you can email us at badfilm. God damn it, I always fuck this bit up. badfilmgood@gmail.com.
It's because you say at Bad Film Good, so your brain automatically thinks like at Bad Film Good.
Yeah.
And then it's confusing, yeah.
But yeah, you can phone us in there. If you want to help support the show, a really good thing to do would be to tell a friend. That helps us get more listeners. And give us a 5-star review on your chosen platform. Really does help us.
And go to all the other platforms that you don't use and give us one there.
Yeah, do it everywhere.
Go everywhere.
Yeah, on Amazon. Give us a 5-star
Create a new platform for podcasts. Get it off the ground, get it running, get it big, get it popular, put us on there, and then give us a 5-star
review. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah,
and then close it down.
Yeah, and that immediately. 5-star review, and then that's it. We're the only thing on there. But that's about everything we've got. However, as always, we're going to give you an inspirational quote from InspiroBot, which is a randomly generated image slapped on with a randomly generated sentence or text. Have you got one? Do you want me to go first? I could go first if you want.
I've got a very relevant one, actually, for this week, which, again, I always never realised that they're relevant until I look at it and I think, we just talked about some of this. So, well, the text is relevant. Again, the picture is just nothing. So you've got this kind of very barren-looking field stretches out to the horizon. Most of the picture is a very cloudy kind of grey sky.
Yeah.
And in the centre of this field is a little. It's not even really a house. It's more of like a little shed house kind of thing. You know, you've got a nice little green door. You've got a couple of windows. You've got little chimneys. It's just a small little one-story little deal. You've got some trees along the, in a row behind it there. I think maybe a hedge to one side as well. It's quite nice. And it just says in the sky, we must put more money into researching adult diapers.
Oh, Mum.
And it works because Mum, why you do that adult diaper? I don't want you to change me.
Adrian, I don't want to wear diapers. Yeah. Well, mine is just like the Earth, in space. Looks quite nice. Just a picture of the Earth. And then in the center...
Do you just tell me where Earth was located? The Earth, in space.
That
where that be?
In the Milky Way, well, there's a little planet, a little solar system, and the third planet in is called Earth. So it's a picture of Earth, and then in the center of it, it just says, "Look female and work hard." So a little bit of advice for you there.
Okay.
Just in case you're having a rough time, just look female and work hard. It'll get you through it.
Nice. That'll get you through.
Yeah.
But that's about everything.
Yeah.
So, all the Adrians out there, stay strong.
Stay strong.
I don't know what I'm saying.
Adrian!
Adrian!
Alright. See you next week.
I don't know what this is at the end.
Yeah, we sort of just tailed on like, yeah, alright, anyway, bye.
Just throw in an impression that'll do him. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, fuck him.
Where's the Danny? Go on, get Danny Dyer in here.
Yeah. Gary,
put him on the wall.
Put him on the wall.
Yeah, Slags.
Yeah.
See you next week, Slags.
Alright, see you next week.
Bye.
Goodbye. Adrian!